Hey guys, this is Veda,
Hey, it's Kelsey.
and you're listening to That Clue podcast.
What's up? Welcome back.
Finally, episode number 2. Sorry about last week. A few little things went on, and we weren't able to upload. But we're back, and now this is episode 2.
Woo!
Woohoo! So before we start though, let's talk about the holidays. Those are gonna be coming up in just a few days.
Very soon. Very, very soon.
Wow.
Actually, by the time that you guys are listening to this, it'll actually be Christmas Eve. So,
Christmas Eve. That's
I know
crazy.
not everyone celebrates Christmas, but if you do, Merry Christmas.
And if not, happy holidays for any other kind of holiday you might celebrate. So, what are you going to be doing for Christmas this year, Kelsey?
Oh boy. Not too much. I'll be spending probably the morning with my fiance and her family, and then spending the afternoon portion with my family.
For Christmas Day or Christmas Eve?
Christmas Day.
Christmas.
Christmas Eve will be at my parents' house.
Yes, and I'll be there as well. Yes, so for Christmas Eve this year, we're going to have a nice big party with some friends and family and just celebrate being all together with the merry holiday. And then for Christmas, you said you'll be with your fiance and your family for the rest of the day. I'm going to be with a family that I'm really close with who's taken a lot of care of me and I'm really appreciative for. So I'm going to see them. I'm going to have a nice dinner. And I miss them, so I'm excited to see them.
Oh, that's really good.
Yeah.
Holidays are all about being with family.
Of course, yeah. What are you going to do for the New Year's, though? Any goals or anything you have in mind?
What am I going to be doing New
that
Year's
day?
Eve and
Yeah,
stuff
New
like
Year's
that?
Eve and then New Year's Day.
Honestly, it all depends on the work schedule, but New Year's Eve usually is spent at my fiance's family's house. They usually do a little get together and everything.
Yes, I've been there a few years past, and no, yeah, it's nice. Everybody's there. I like the sense of having everybody there.
Yeah.
And just knowing, I can talk to this person, or this person, or this person. And even the whole busy part of it, of all the conversations, and, what are these people talking about? What are these people talking about? I just love engaging in it.
Yeah,
It
it's
feels
always
wholesome.
a lot of fun.
Yeah. Well,
Always a lot of fun.
I'm excited about that. Especially the end of the year. It's going to be 2020.
The
This
end of a decade.
Coming year. Oh my gosh. Wow.
That's crazy. End of a decade.
Oh my god. All right. Well, since we're talking about almost being the New Year's and talking about some goals, we have some pod deck here, and they help us decide what it is that we might talk about. So we actually saw one that was a little interesting. So what is it, Kelsey?
So basically, it's our top 3 goals and what we're doing to get towards those goals.
Mm-hmm. So we have a little list here of thought of some goals that we have, each of us, and then how we're gonna make through with it for the new year, especially, and what we think the prediction will be, the outcome of everything. So I set it up a little bit differently than Kelsey. So I thought more of a serious goal, a personal goal, and then kind of like a fun goal that I have. So what about you? How did you just thought of whatever you could have?
Yeah, I have more of a goal that one of my goals I'm definitely completing in 2020.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other 2 are ones that I want to work towards getting better at in 2020, but I don't think they will be fully complete. In 2020.
Yes. Yeah, some of my goals I don't think I'm going to be able to complete in 2020. But, as time goes on, we'll eventually figure them out and hopefully that they're completed. So before we even get into what our goals are, how would you yourself define what a goal is, Kelsey? I want to know. On the spot.
What I would define a goal as?
Yeah, what would you define a goal as?
something that you see as a person that you I
This
don't
is a
know.
hard one, huh?
I don't know. That is some. I would definitely say something that you want to work towards
Mm-hmm.
to either better yourself or just it could be something big or small. Like
Mm-hmm.
some days it's just getting up out of bed and completing a simple task, or something in the long run of in 5 to 10 years I want to have a full career, I want to start a family, I want to. So there's different
Could be anything.
aspects. Exactly, there's different aspects to what a goal is overall.
Mm-hmm.
What about you?
Well, I kind of cheated a little bit, so I looked it up because I wanted to get the exact definition too. But talking about my more recent times, I've been thinking a lot about what goals are and what it is that I want to achieve and to improve upon myself. And my definition of a goal is something that you have to complete. It's like a desire that you want to complete in a specific amount of time. So a lot of goals I hear actually are completed mainly because people set a time to it. So they put a time frame on it. I'm going to complete this goal in 5 years. I'm going to complete this goal in a year. Because by you putting a time on something, it pressures you kind of into completing it. So if you don't put a time limit on it of, in the year or in 5 minutes or anything like that, that it's actually most likely not going to be completed at all.
Which
Does that make
makes
sense? Yeah,
that makes sense.
But yeah, so that's what my kind of definition would be. But I looked up a few different things. And so it says, setting goals gives you purpose and they help you to guide your life, which is understandable, right? Like you set a goal because it's something that you want to complete and something that you want to live with.
Yeah, and where did you find that?
I found that on Google.
The good old Google.
It's on HuffPost.com. But here on Wikipedia, because, you got to throw in Wikipedia here and there.
Good old Wikipedia.
Throw back to high school days when you used to use Wikipedia when they said not to.
Exactly.
It says, a goal is an idea of the future or desired result that a person or a group of people envision, plan, and commit to achieving. So people reach goals within deadlines. So it's about, again, setting time. Because if you don't, then you're most likely not going to achieve that goal. In some cases, obviously, you might achieve the goal without a set time, but it's more planned through and thorough with time.
Yeah, which, again, makes sense. But I wouldn't say for my goals that I have, they don't have, like, a specific... Like, it's just something that I want to work in. I want to work towards. And honestly, I don't think I would ever be completely satisfied. Like, I always would be, quote unquote, hungry for more.
You're always desiring for more and to reach a new level on whatever it is you're completing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. So going into our goals, again, I set them up a little bit more differently than Kelsey, but so I have a serious one, and my more serious one is obviously going to be set in the frame of a longer period of time. I mean, I'm only 21 right now, and these are goals that everybody kind of wants to achieve. So it's to buy a house in my future, as well as to buy a nicer car. So I have a car that's decent, right? It gets me to point A and point B and C and the rest of the alphabet. But I want a nicer car when I'm older. I don't want to have this car forever. Maybe it's just like a want more than a goal or a need, but it's something that I want.
It's still a goal.
Yeah, and regarding to buying a house, oh my gosh, that's a lot of money and
that's like a
thought out process. Yeah, of like where you want to live and how much is it, and then the buyer's market, and if it's a seller's market or a buyer's market, and what's the right time of year. But those are two things that I really want to do. So someone was actually telling me that for a car, that I would look good with the BMW X1, which is an SUV. And don't get me wrong, like I don't know anything about cars, but it's interesting to learn. But I don't know why they said that car,
That's interesting.
but it looks nice.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I do want to have when I'm older like a Porsche. But I guess a BMW would be fine for now. But I definitely want to achieve these goals in the next like 10 years. These are like I want to buy a house and I want to buy a car.
Yeah, which makes sense. That's like a more of a long-term goal, but something that you still need to work towards every day. Like it's not going to happen overnight where you just wake up one morning and you're like, "Oh, I'm buying a house. Oh,
Yeah,
I'm going to go out and buy a car." Like you need to save for that. You have different expenses that you need to worry about.
Of course, yeah.
Working towards those. So those are definitely, it makes sense for that to be more of a long-term, like 10-year goal.
And luckily for me, like I came to an instance where I actually got a little bit more of money than a normal 21-year-old would, just normally. And maybe I could put that towards like a down payment for a house or something.
Yeah.
But my thing is I don't know where it is that I want to live because I don't travel and I don't do all these things. So trying to figure out where it is that I want to live, maybe close to Rhode Island, and then be able to like just travel and go other places and have like little apartments or something somewhere else that I could just go and visit if I want to live there for a little short time.
Yeah. Kind of like a quote unquote vacation home or something like that.
Yeah, or I don't know, just something nice because I don't know if I want to live in Rhode Island forever. And I mean, again, I'm so young, so I still have so long to figure that out. But never mind that I have to have good credit. So I always have to try to maintain good credit with all that for a car and a house. Yeah. All right. Well.
All right. So my first goal that I know I'm definitely going to complete in 2020 is to marry my best friend. And that's coming at the end of September of 2020. That goal will be completely achieved. And that's just, I don't know, it's 40 weeks away.
That's crazy.
Crazy. It's definitely coming up fast. But it's just, I'm super excited for it. It's just, it's going to be fun. It's going to be scary at times. It's going to be, because marrying someone's a huge commitment.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Huge commitment. But when you love someone and you want to show them that you love them, I feel like that's the next step.
Yeah, of course. And I think it's cute too because like I've known you for so long, since like 7th grade, and I've known Jesse for a while too.
Yeah.
Like my sophomore year of high school was when I first met Jesse. And I think it's just cute that like I knew you guys and then all of a sudden, oh, you're dating. Yeah. Oh, well now you're getting married.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Wow. That's cute.
So, and we're getting married on our 5-year anniversary too of when we got together. So it's like, I don't know, we've known each other for probably roughly about 5 years as of now. And then once we started dating and everything, and I don't know, it's just crazy.
I know, yeah. That's definitely, of course, a long time like commitment. Because obviously, like there's people out there that get married and then get divorced because obviously it didn't work out. Never mind finding the person that you're gonna be spending the rest of your life with, and or like just having like the right, like kind of like puzzle pieces.
Yeah,
fit each other like perfectly. Like some might have more of one thing and the other person might not have that much of it, but it makes it up. Like it's a balance. It's like a scale.
Yeah, finding that perfect person is just, it's like fitting that puzzle piece together.
Yeah, I wouldn't ever know. but it's nice. It's a nice concept of just being able to find that person that you correlate with. Yeah. Well, going into more of a personal goal, my personal goal, and I need a lot of this, is time management. This one is a little rough because I'm not good at it at all. And I know that I have to have a lot of self-discipline when it comes to it. Like, so setting up a routine, going to the gym, for example, which I've been doing a lot better at. So
That's good.
I'm achieving it slowly by eating healthier and at a scheduled time instead of just eating a whole bunch of random crap throughout the day, as well as finding good times to sleep. So, knowing me, I stay up super late because it's a choice. And then I have to get up early by not a choice. So, I'm not really working that out well at all. But setting up time management, again, is like a lot of self-discipline. So, we talked a lot about self-discipline, like me, myself, and someone else. And there's a few steps to it, so I have a little list right here. So the first step is to be fine with who you are now, right?
Yeah.
So it's being fine saying, oh, don't mind that truck.
Oh, boy. Busy time of day.
But the first step is to say, I'm fine with who I am, right? It's taking that leap of, I'm confident with myself and I love myself the way I am, right? So it's being okay with who you are right now.
Yeah.
And then, because if you can't be okay with who you are now, then how can you be okay with who you are going to be in 10 years or 20 years? You know, it's hard. And I think that's the first step for anything. Yeah, love yourself now, because how can you love another person if you can't love yourself, right?
Exactly.
And then the second step would be to know what your desire is. So not what it is that I want to be, but what it is that I don't want to be. So I don't want to be bad with time management, right?
Yeah.
I want to be good with time management, and I want to not be unhealthy, so I want to eat healthier, and even with like sleeping, right? It's being healthy, it's being considered healthy. So 1 is being okay with who you are now. 2 is to find out your desire, what is it? And then 3 is what is it that you want to be? It's like a 3-step process. So again, I'm okay with who I am now. Obviously, there's some things I want to change, and maybe that's something I have to change now. But as it goes along and time goes along, I'll be okay with myself, and then finding out what it is that I don't want to be. So what my desire is, my burning passion of wanting to have good change, and then changing it, right?
Yeah, which that makes sense. It's a good foundation to start off of.
Mm-hmm.
And then just being able to build off of that.
Of course, yeah. It's definitely something that's important, because if you just go for it and have kind of no plan, how are you going to achieve it, right?
Exactly.
Unless
it's kind of like setting goals,
yeah,
and achieving them.
Unless you're not like super passionate about it, you can't really achieve it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So, something you have to really want, that really big desire.
Makes sense. So going into my second goal is, I guess you could say it's more of a personal one for me. I kind of have more 2 personal ones that I want to achieve probably in the next 5 or less years, I'd say.
Mm-hmm.
That's definitely not something that's going to happen overnight. It's going to take a lot of time to work towards, but one of them is getting better at video games and working on it more of competitively instead of just playing it for fun.
Mm-hmm.
Like, eventually, not saying that it's... I guess an overall goal would be to join a huge team like FaZe Clan or 100 Thieves or
Oh, wow.
something like that. And
yeah, they're pretty big.
Yeah, that would be much, much later. But just getting my foot in the door of maybe joining a smaller clan and starting to get noticed by other teams like that.
Mm-hmm.
And working towards just getting better overall at video games.
Yeah, and I feel like especially for that, it's really hard to like get noticed, because there's thousands and millions of people that want to join it.
Yeah,
but at the same time, it's like almost impossible that you can. And you have to have like kind of like the right click, you know, like to fit perfectly into it and have the like a good personality and whatnot. I'm not saying that you don't have a good personality. don't get me wrong.
Wow, jeez.
But I'm just saying it's really hard, because there's so many people out there that want it. And then to be able to think, well, how can I stick out? How can I be different, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Unless you have something that's like really, really different, it's hard.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's a good goal, but you have to think of like, how can I do it? Like, in what way?
And that's the thing. It's like finding
Finding out how.
video games are such like, I don't know, I enjoy doing them so much that I feel like just working towards it and playing as much as I can and finding the right teammates who also kind of have that same desire. And I feel like another way to get better at video games is to play with people who are better than me. So like finding people,
Challenge yourself.
exactly, like finding people who are better than me and just playing alongside them, or just watching people on Twitch or Mixer and just going from there and kind of seeing their style of how they play and everything like that. See how they play competitively and just doing a research basically, because just like anything, you have to do research and you have to take away from that, and that basically is how you learn from it.
Yeah. Especially with being with like groups. It's hard to be a single, like I guess you could say a single player, because if you're playing by yourself, unless you have that really like out there personality, it's like PewDiePie, I guess you could say, then it's hard to be noticed. It's easier to be noticed when you're kind of in a group with people. So
Yeah.
especially when I used to play a lot more video games and watch a lot of people on YouTube, that it was always like a group of people. So like I don't know if you know who it is, but KYR Speedy. I don't know if you've ever watched him. I always used to watch his videos because he did it like a collaboration with friends, and he used to play a lot of like Black Ops 2 and stuff, and he did like a lot of stupid trolling videos and whatnot to little kids.
Yeah.
But I find it more entertaining to have like a group of people, and then, okay, well this one obviously is the most loudest one and the one who sticks out the most, so I'm going to go watch their channel, right? So that's, I don't know, it's just more fun as well with a group of people. The more people, the better.
Yeah, and that's like, because I play more first-person shooter games like Call of Duty, Apex Legends, stuff like that, where those are the games that I play more instead of like story-based single player. So it's all about finding, it's all about finding people who have that same drive for those types of games as well, and just working towards that goal with them. And I've had people start to introduce me into the competitive league and like what you need to do and everything. And like I said, I've been doing a bunch of different research and just different things that I know that I need to. And I think the next thing that I'm gonna do is get a whiteboard in my office area.
Oh,
And
really?
put it on the wall and like write down my goals and aspirations that I have. And I actually got that idea from someone else. I was listening to another podcast, and it was Short Story Long by Chris Dramapath. Do you remember who that? Did you ever watch like Rob Dyrdek and everything?
I used to, but that was on that TV show, Ridiculousness. That was the only way I ever heard of him,
That's
right?
the only show you watch?
Yeah, that's him,
he
right?
He does Ridiculousness. He
I only
also
knew him from
did
there.
Rob Dyrdek's Fantasy Factory. And
Oh,
that
yeah.
was,
I know he was like a skateboarder.
yeah,
That's it.
yeah. And that was when I was younger, that I wanted to be a skateboarder. I wanted to be just like Rob Dyrdek and like all of them. And so like, but even just the show was entertaining, and it was just, I don't know, it was just a fun show to watch. And basically it's his Fantasy Factory. It's this big warehouse, and there was like, it was like a mini
Challenges
skate
and
park
stuff.
in front of it, and like inside of it, and it was just like different things day to day that he used to
Yeah.
do.
I remember watching a lot of like stupid fun accidents.
Yeah.
They would have like someone would always get hit with like a skateboard or like some
Yeah.
ball in the face.
Yeah, exactly.
What was that girl on that TV show?
Chanel West Coast.
Yeah, I remember I watched like an episode, and I don't know if it was a skateboard or if it was like a basketball
it
or
was
something,
like a
but it
ball.
decked her right in the face.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I was dying laughing.
2 or 3 times that episode too. It was the funniest thing. But
Oh my god.
that was kind of getting back on track, kind of a
Sorry.
little no,
I
it's
thought that was
good.
funny.
But Rob Dyrdek's cousin, he goes by the nickname Drama. He has a podcast, Short Story Long, and he also has the clothing brand Young and Reckless. And he just
I have
did
so many of those clothes.
And
didn't even know.
he actually just did a collab with FaZe
Rug.
Rug, who I religiously watch all of his videos. I love his videos. He's part of the group FaZe Clan. And they were talking about on the podcast how Rug wants to how he like achieves his goals.
Mm-hmm.
And he has a whiteboard up and he just writes his goals and stuff on that, and that's probably a good thing that I took away from that episode of the podcast was to just write your goals down, have them written down somewhere. And I think since I'm always in my office area, if I just have the whiteboard up on the wall, that would be, and something that you can erase once you
Finish it.
have them. Yeah, you erase it and then write new
crossing it
goals and stuff like that. So I think that's what I'm going to work on next to get into the office, is getting a nice big whiteboard that I can just write down my goals.
And that's a good thing too, is that like if you have it literally right in your face all the time, it's going to like pressure you to do it even more. So if it's a constant reminder of, oh, my goal is this, my goal is this, my goal is this, then you're going to, again, most likely to achieve it. So as well as not only having good time management with that of, oh, you set deadline or whatnot, as well as like almost having like a place and a plan of how it's going to go. But again, if it's right in your face all the time, it's like a constant reminder of, this is my goal and this is what I want to achieve. And you're most likely going to achieve it. As well as the whole feeling of, like you just said, oh, if you finish that goal, crossing it off, it's a great achievement and it makes you feel good. And it's like that, I can't think of the name, but that feeling of like euphoria of, oh, this is great. I feel good about myself. I completed this goal that I really wanted to do and it took me this long to do it. And it's just setting yourself up for like good and the good vibes to come your way, for positive mindsets and everything. And that's a really good idea. I want to see it when you do it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like, I don't know, I feel like that would be the best way, because you can sit here all day and say, oh, I'm going to do this, oh, I'm going to do that, oh, this is the goal that I want to achieve, oh, I want to do this. And if you don't have it written down and you're not constantly reminding yourself of that goal and you're not working towards it, then you're not actually going to do it.
Yeah, because you might forget about it. Like, obviously, if it's a bigger goal, you might not forget about it. But if it's like, oh, my goal is to clean my room, or my goal is to throw the trash out, you might forget about it because it's not in your face as a constant reminder, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, those are just examples.
Those are smaller things, but still.
But it's like to help keep yourself in check of like, this is what I want to do. Don't forget it.
Yeah,
like,
basically like a
don't
checklist.
lose your path. Yeah.
A checklist that you're always looking at. And you want to put it in a place where you see it all the time.
I actually, I heard from somebody before. I can't remember who. I think it was from one of the Taekwondo masters. But he said that something to help him achieve a goal is that, like, for example, say that he wanted to learn the guitar, right? If he puts the guitar in the middle of the room, obviously it's going to be an annoyance that, oh, it's in the middle of the room. Oh, I have to move it out of the way to get by it, right? But if it's right there in front of your face, it's going to be that constant reminder of, oh, maybe I'll pick it up and play it, right? Maybe I should take some time to practice because it's right there. So if it's something that's like physical, like even just a whiteboard of writing it down or whatnot, just always having it in your face is like, it's a good thing. It might seem like a bad thing and an annoyance, but it's good.
It definitely will help in the long run.
Yeah, well, that one's a good one. I want to see that. And I want to see all your plans of how you write it out and everything. And
maybe,
as a
maybe
sponsor,
you can do something.
Maybe you should sponsor yourself and throw yourself out there. What is your average savage one?
Oh, my Twitch and everything.
Yeah, throw it out there.
Savage1.
What is it?
Twitch.tv/average_savage1.
Average_savage1. Everybody go check it out now. And I know that Kelsey's not going to be like, hey, everybody go subscribe to my channel and like my videos and watch it. But I'm going to do that for her because she's not going to. So everybody, you better go and do it now. Or else. I can't really make you, but please do it.
Or else. Yes. That's another thing is going along with, not to cut you off, to go into your next one, but going back onto getting better at video games. I want to get better at streaming more. I need to sit down and really make a schedule and go by that schedule, because right now I kind of just every once in a while, oh, I'm playing video games, I'll sit down and I'll stream.
It's not like a set schedule.
I did have a set schedule, and then it kind of
Fell through.
life got in the way, and I
Mm-hmm.
kind of
And that's normal though.
I kind of strayed away from the schedule. So my next thing going into, and that's another way to, once you start to build a community
Mm-hmm.
and everything, that'll really help get into the competitive and start to get noticed by different clans and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going into that would be what I want to try to do.
Oh, of course, yeah. Because like for example, it's kind of dumb, but I had like an Instagram for K-pop,
Yeah,
and my goal was to post a picture every day, and I did it for a really long time, and I was actually surprised at how long I did it for. I did it for like over a year.
Yeah, just every
And
single day.
Just every single day posting a picture of this idol that I really love. And I got over 5,000 followers, and obviously it's easy to get a following if it's like something that
if it's a fan page.
it's a huge community kind of, I guess you can call it K-pop, I don't know. But I had 557 posts, and I had just a little over 5,200 followers, and all of a sudden I just stopped posting. Like, I just dropped it and just stopped posting. And not that it's like, oh my god, it's something I'm dedicated to or whatever, but
It was just something fun that you enjoyed doing.
yeah, and it was kind of dumb, but it kind of helped me like, oh, okay, well, it's a good reminder to be like, oh, I have to do this one thing each and every day. And it's funny now because I've lost a lot of followers, which I don't really care about, but it's just funny that it's like once you actually get a big following, it kind of just goes into what you were saying, but once you get a big following, it's like to try to keep up with it and to try to continue to provide for your followers.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like there are some people who, once you achieve a goal, or like say you wanna get a big following, and you do that by just being constantly active with your following and everything like that. There are some people who, I'm not saying that this is what you did, but people once they reach that goal, they kind of just like step back.
They stop, yeah.
And they're just like, oh well, I've achieved this.
Yeah, what's the next step?
Like what am I gonna do next? I've already reached where I want to go, and that's that.
Yeah, unless it's like a super burning desire to be like, I want even more and better this time. If you don't have that, it's like, okay, well, what's next? And like you completely not drop it, but just like, all right, well, I did it, and well, now what?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, I've made that team. Oh, I've done what I wanted to do, and I'm kind of over it.
Yeah, and I mean it sucks sometimes, but you know what happens? It happens literally every single day. It happens to everybody. I feel like you can't live a whole life without experiencing that once of like, all right, well, I'm done. Kind of just like even as you just grow up, like when you're a kid, oh, I played with this, and then all of a sudden, oh, I just don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah, I've outgrown it, or
yeah, I've outgrown it.
I've just lost interest in it.
It's kind of like that. So even that same feeling, it correlates a lot. Talking about followers, though, we actually just hit 50. We actually have 51 now. 51 followers on Instagram.
Oh, we just hit 51.
Yeah, so if you want to go take a look at our Instagram and give us a follow, our Instagram is 2withoutaclue podcast. All lowercase, no space, no special symbols.
Just
you should
as
go
is.
Just as is. And go give us a follow. But anyway, going into the next one. So I had a serious one, and then I had a more personal one. My next goal is kind of just like a fun one, just something that you just pick up randomly, like, oh, I want to do this, you know? And I have a few, so I have 3. So I want to do better at photography, because I had like a desire, oh, I really love taking pictures, and I really love looking at the sky, and oh, I want to capture this moment forever. So I really love pictures, and I was doing it for a while, and all of a sudden I just stopped. And I was really upset about it, because like, oh, why am I stopping something that I really love? And I don't know why. I think maybe I was going through something where I was just like a little sad. But I definitely want to pick that back up, as well as trying to like make videos too. So learning a little bit more about the software and how to accomplish those goals of photography and whatnot. And I have a few friends that like to take pictures too, so doing it with somebody else especially is even more fun and more motivating. Because if you're by yourself, it's like, oh, well, no one's here to push me to be like, do it, do it, do it. Just like a personal trainer, right? Like at a gym. You can do it, you can do it. I mean, they're getting paid for it, but it's just the point. As well as another one, I want to learn how to cook. I don't want to be someone who doesn't know how to cook for the rest of their life and depend on somebody else to cook me food or go to restaurants every night. So I want to learn how to cook. And it's a little hard for me because I don't really have like a full kitchen to be able to cook or do anything. I have like a single burner, an electric burner that you plug into a wall.
Yeah.
And that's the only way I can to cook, other than if I go to somebody else's house and cook. But that's like a bit weird.
Yeah.
But I just want to like experience it. One thing that I used to do with my brother when we were younger is we used to like take a whole bunch of all these sauces, like ketchup and soy sauce and whatnot, and like mix it in a bowl because we thought we were cool. And we'd be like, I'm the chef and you're the customer, and what do you want? I'll make you food. But we would like actually use real food and waste it.
Yeah.
Because we wanted to be really cool. But I really enjoy that. I don't know, just making food and then people eating it, and it just seems satisfying to be like, well, I made this and it tastes good, and I'm glad that I could do this.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people cook and they pick up a recipe and they just get it.
Yeah. Me personally, I don't like to cook.
I think it's a lot of fun.
I don't know. It's just like, and like the cleaning up afterwards, or like if you're like for instance, making cookies from scratch, you have to get all the ingredients out. You have to like go through, follow the recipe, and especially with like cooking and baking are obviously different from each other.
Yeah.
But like cooking, you can go off of, I'm just gonna add a pinch of salt. I want this to be a little bit more spicy, so I'm gonna add sriracha sauce, or I'm gonna add hot sauce, or something like that. Whereas like baking, you kind of have to go by the recipe, because if you use too much or not enough of something,
it won't come out good at all.
It won't. Yeah, exactly. It's not gonna be what it's supposed to taste like.
But I feel like that's the fun experience of it. Of course, baking is a little bit harder. And I used to watch like a lot of baking shows, and I just love the way, like, I just love the fact of taking all these ingredients and then making it into one big thing that comes out delicious.
Yeah.
And it's just so satisfying. So like I would always come over Jesse's house or something, and we'd be like, okay, let's bake. I mean, we use the Betty Crocker thing where it's like the pre-made mix. And all we do is add butter and eggs, but it's still really fun. I just like the fact of, all right, we'll have to set the timer for this and do this and this and this and this. And then when it comes all together, it's just great. And cooking too, when you, like you just said, you can add a pinch of this or that and that. And that's the great thing about it, is it could literally be anything.
Yeah.
By adding whatever it is that you want. So as the cook, you can change whatever it is that you want. And I think I like that whole thing of being in control. I don't know. It's just satisfying. It's something that I just want to learn how to do. I don't want to make cereal for the rest of my life, you know?
Yeah. Pop open
some Fruit Loops, you know?
Some nice Fruit Loops or
honeycombs. Oh, those are my favorite.
Ooh, I don't know. What did you say? Honeycombs is your favorite cereal?
Oh, I don't know. I used to love Life cereal, but that's like a whole bunch. I like cereal. A lot of cereal is sugary. I love Special K Red Berries. That one's my favorite cereal.
I like a lot of cereal. I don't know. I probably like either Cocoa Krispies. Is that what it is? Cocoa or like
Cocoa Puffs?
Not Cocoa
Cocoa
Puffs.
Krispies?
Is
that like the...
It's like Rice Krispies except the chocolate version. I think that's what... I'm probably saying it wrong.
No, you're probably saying it right. I'm just like not intelligent.
Or Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Oh, really? I used to
Nothing is better than a nice big bowl of Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
I didn't really like that cereal.
You didn't like Cinnamon Toast Crunch?
No, because like, do you know at the end when it's just like the bowl of milk and cinnamon flavor?
That's the best.
That was I hated that.
Part. What?
I don't know. Maybe I just need a bowl of it again. I haven't had it in years.
That's it. After this, we're gonna go to the store. We're gonna get you some Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
All right. Do you know when you used to like go to school in the morning and they'd have like that little white plastic thing of cereal? It's like Raisin Bran or Cinnamon Toast Crunch, or like it's like the boring flavors. Serve. Yeah. I remember.
Take that back. Cinnamon Toast Crunch is not a boring flavor.
A little bit.
No.
I like Fruity
You think-
Pebbles.
You
I like
think
the
the
colors.
Life cereal is better than Cinnamon Toast Crunch?
Yeah, I do.
What? That's the most boring.
Pops used to be my favorite cereal.
I had Pops. I never really. That wasn't like a excuse me. That wasn't like a staple for me though.
Do you know like when you used to open the old bag and it'd be like the silver one?
No, of what? Of what? Pop?
Yeah, like do you know how
No.
cereal comes in a clear bag?
Yeah.
Pops used to come in a silver bag.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I
I don't know what
never-
it was, but like once you rip it, like that's it. You can't really close it up like you can a plastic bag. I think they changed it though. I haven't had Pops in a long time.
Yeah, I very, very, very rarely had Pops.
Yeah. That was really random. I love how we're talking about cereal now.
Yeah, right. That was a
But,
a big tangent.
But anyway,
We
talking about
apologize.
cooking, I want to learn how to cook. And I want to cook like a whole bunch of different kinds of foods. And especially for me, I used to be a picky eater. And I would never try all this food. Like I would literally eat like 2 bites of something and I'd be full. Because like I was such a small kid, so I never wanted to eat anything or try anything. All I loved was like spaghetti and meatballs and pork. And that was it. Like I hated everything else.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. I was weird. But I just like the fact that I can make it how I want, as well as being able to experience and try different things and reaching out of like, oh, well, maybe this didn't taste that good, or oh, maybe this doesn't taste that good. So like when I go to restaurants, I'm not wasting money on food that I don't know. But somebody actually told me instead of looking at it as a waste of money, it's a learning experience. So now you know that you might not like foods like that, right?
Yeah.
So
Which
it's like,
makes sense.
but I still would be upset that I lost like $16 on something I didn't like.
Which makes sense, but
Yeah.
it's a good learning experience.
I guess so. Oh, and my last one, talking about guitars in the middle of your room. I want to learn how to play an instrument. I remember my older brother had a piano, like a keyboard, as well as guitar, and he knew how to play both by learning himself. And so I was like, "Oh my God, that's so cool." And I remember I had a friend who knew the guitar. I don't know if you know Sydney. Do you know Sydney?
Yeah.
I remember I used to ask her all the time, "Oh, can you teach me? Can you teach me?" And so I would literally go over her house. She would try to teach me, and I just like didn't get it. Because like I don't know if I have short fingers or something, but they just would not reach over. And I took piano class in high school, and I really liked it. And then I stopped. So it's just something I want to get back into. It's something that I want to do. Yeah, I think it would just be fun to learn and have that skill and be like, well, I can play an instrument, or I can cook, or I can make good videos. Because a lot of people might have questions and stuff, and I want to be that person that if they have a question for it, oh, I can help you, you know?
Yeah, just being able not only to be able to do it for yourself, but also to be able to help others.
Yeah, I think it'd just be fun. Like, there's a whole bunch of different things that I would love to do and have the skill of. But, I don't know, you just got to go out there and do it, you know?
You just gotta do it.
Just do it. Nike, sponsor us. I want those Nike Air Jordans. I want all of them.
You
Okay.
want all of them?
Yeah.
That's a good.
That's my next goal. I'm just kidding. To have all the Nike Air shoes.
Could you imagine? That would be a lot. But going off of your wanting to learn an instrument, this actually leads good into my last goal that I have, that I want to achieve something, is to get better at producing music.
Yeah, maybe you can produce my music when I learn how to play something.
Exactly. Once you learn the guitar, I can produce it a little
It's
bit
never
better.
gonna happen, maybe. No,
No.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it.
You're gonna do it. We're gonna help each other
Yeah.
complete these goals. We're gonna be each other's motivation.
You can do it. Woo! But no, yeah, that'd be fun. I feel like being a producer of something, like that's legit. You know, that's pretty cool. Like who
that-
can say, "Oh, I can produce music," right?
Exactly.
That's awesome.
Like that's always something that I've been interested in. I took a music production class in high school, and I took piano, and I was in band all 4 years in the percussion section. So have a very good base knowledge of melodies and stuff like that, and going off of like the percussion.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm a
Yeah, you
drummer
were
at
really
heart.
good. I remember in band, like used to be in your band class. Fun fact before I get into that, I actually joined band because there was a person that I liked that was in band, and I wanted to spend more time with them. So that's the only reason why I joined band. I never actually learned how to play the flute. But I always thought it was interesting because you'd always be in the back at the top of the room because it was kind of like a slant. The room like had different steps going down.
Yeah.
And so I started with like the winds and then I don't know the different categories of music right now. I can't think of it. But you were all the way at the top with the drums
honestly,
and
yeah,
the
I
mallets,
don't remember. All I remember is like
the jazz,
flutes
and
were in the
the
front.
winds and whatnot, and the wood instruments. And you were in the back, and I was always like, oh, I wish I decided to play the drums instead. Because I was always jealous.
Yeah, that was the thing. In like in middle school, they like forced you to.
Yeah, you could either do chorus, do like music theory, which is to learn about music, right? That class
Yeah.
with Mr. BDT. Or you could play in band. You literally had 3 options. You had to choose.
And you had to choose one of them. It wasn't like once you got into high school, oh, you could do band if you wanted to. Like if you liked band, you could do that. If you liked
Yeah.
chorus, you could do that like as different electives.
But no, you had to.
But like,
the
in
school's
middle
forcing
school,
you.
they were like, oh yeah, you have to pick one of these 3 music selections. And the first year I picked chorus because
Ooh.
that was just what I did. But
Ooh.
I'm not a good singer at all.
Yeah,
I don't
can't
know.
sing.
I don't know why I did. And then the next year in 7th grade, I was like, nope. You know what? I was like, I think I wanna do band. I wanna learn the drums, and stuff like that. So that was really, I like talked to my parents and I was like, this is what I want to do. So I joined the percussion, and that was when it started for me. And I had a deal with my parents in 8th grade that if I made honor roll at the end of the year, I would get a drum set. They would buy me a drum set.
Wow.
And that was when my parents bought me my first drum set. And that's really what helped to push me along. And then going into high school, I started off in cymbals. I was cymbals the first 2 years, freshman and sophomore year. And then I just worked with people who were on drums. And then I ended up being on the quint line for
that's hard. There's
junior and senior year, which if you don't know what quints are, it's 5 drums basically that you wear. And so in drum line, you have the quint line, you have the snare line, which the snare is a single drum, and then the bass drum, which is there's the big drum. It's
Yeah.
also a singular drum.
rest in peace to everybody's back.
Exactly, yeah. And the quint line is what I ultimately wanted to be on, and that was going off of goals. That was a goal that I had in high school. I wanted to be on the quint line, and I worked towards that goal.
And you did it.
Eventually, I made it on.
Did I ever tell you that Tyler's girlfriend Maddie used to play quint too
Oh,
in marching
really?
band? Yeah. You guys should talk about that one time.
Oh, definitely, I'll have to bring it up.
And then I remember I used to want to play the drums really badly because I don't know if you know the show. Did you ever watch the Naked Brothers Band on Nickelodeon with Nat Wolff and Alex Wolff?
Not much, but I do know what you're talking about.
So obviously like they make their own music and stuff, and even as a kid, like being so young, they used to make their own music. And I used to want to be like Alex Wolff and play the drums.
Yeah.
So ever since I watched that show, I don't know when it came out, in like 2005 or 6 or so. When it came out, I was like, "Oh my god, I want to be a drummer." I don't want to take care of pets anymore as a vet, but I want to be a drummer.
Yeah. No, that's funny. I don't really know what. I guess it was just the fact of like they forced us in middle school that we had to pick something.
Yeah, I
So
wish I did. You had to have money though. That's the thing. If you took chorus or band was the most expensive thing because you have to like pay for the instrument and stuff.
Yeah, you either had to rent it or you had to buy one.
And then for chorus, you have to buy all those uniforms and pay for clothes for concerts and stuff. And then music theory, you literally didn't have to buy anything. Never mind the fact that I never had money to be able to pay for it or my parents. So, yeah. I think and when I switched, because it was halfway through 7th grade that I decided I want to do band. And like somehow they let me. I don't know why. And I think I rented an instrument, but I didn't pay for it.
Interesting.
Yeah. I don't know.
Interesting. I don't.
Maybe they felt bad for me.
I don't know. I was so young that I literally don't remember at all.
Oh, what a time.
But
Middle school.
What a time to be alive. But no, that's definitely like working towards just getting better at music overall.
Yeah.
I know we've been on, I don't know, we've been on a lot of tangents this episode.
Oh my God, yeah, a whole bunch of different rants.
Thank you for sticking through.
Oh yeah, I know, God. But mainly our main point is like goals and what we have and what we want to achieve. And so another goal too that I think we both have is we want all of this podcast through our entire journey. And I know we're only at the beginning. We just want everything to go so smoothly and well. And that's another goal, is that we want to achieve and see this turn into something greater as time goes on.
Yeah, definitely. This podcast at first was just semi a joke, and then
it actually happened. Because you came to me and you were like, all right, when are we doing it? And I was just like, wait, what?
Yeah, it was something we talked about doing, and it was kind of like, oh, that'd be cool. And then it was kind of just like, I was like, hey, let's actually sit down and do it.
I know, I was like really confused when you said that. I was like, wait, you really want to? But that's cool, because we used to want to like do videos and things too in the past. So I'm glad we're actually doing something along the lines of, oh, I want to do this. All right, well, let's do it. And now we're doing it.
Yeah, exactly. It's just, whole life is just a goal, I guess.
That's very true. You want to have this big, huge bucket list of things you want to accomplish before you die. But, yeah, I definitely don't want to have like a regret along the lines of anything and any goals that I have. And I actually like more so recently learned that regret is when you decide you don't want to take responsibility and follow through your actions and consequences. So there's regret for anything, like good consequences or bad consequences, whatnot. I just don't want to have that regret of saying, well, I didn't take this responsibility to take my time to learn how to do it or to accomplish it. And that's where the regret lies. Like, I don't want to have regret because of something that I didn't do. I'm the one who's in charge of my regret, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
But yeah,
you always want to achieve goals and never regret either doing or not doing something.
But yeah, those are a lot of goals that I have that I want to accomplish. And again, there's set times and everything for whatnot. And my main goal right now is, again, my more time management. Because if I don't take care of myself, then how can I take care of other things?
Exactly. I feel like that's a good base one.
Yeah, so everybody, you should start to love yourself. And
start to love yourself.
There's only one of you out there, so a little sappy note. But there's only one of you, and you should love yourself for who you are and be okay with that.
Yes. Love yourself. Damn it. Love
if you
yourself.
Don't, I'll love you.
Yeah, if you need some loving,
we have it here.
We have
it's in our pocket right now.
We have some.
I only have 3 left though, so you better hurry up.
First come, first serve. Sheesh.
All right. Well, this has been episode 2 of Two Without a Clue podcast.
Episode 2. Damn.
Thank
you for sticking around, hanging out with us. I know it's gonna be a rough road, but
we can do it.
We're gonna do it. We're gonna get more comfortable with talking and
our setup too.
Yeah, figuring our setup out and everything like that. But if you've made it this far into the podcast, thank you.
Yes, thank you so much.
From the bottom of our hearts.
We hope that you'll be able to stick it through us. Stick with us.
Stick with us.
Throughout the throughout the rest of our journey along with us, because that'll mean so much to us. Because we're just 2 people with no clue of what we're doing, and
we just want to entertain people.
Yeah, we want to bring happiness.
We have no clue, but that we want to entertain you.
That is also very true. So I know we gave a shout out last time to what our Instagram is, which Kelsey, can you give us a reminder?
Our Instagram is Two Without a Clue podcast.
As well as our Twitter. Do you know what our Twitter is, Kelsey?
2 without underscore clue podcast.
Nope.
It isn't? Oh,
no,
jeez.
man, Kelsey, you messed
I
up.
don't even know what it is.
No, it's 2 without underscore clue.
Yes, because
That is our Twitter.
because it can't be too long. That's why.
Yes. So our Instagram is 2 without a clue podcast. And our Twitter is 2 without underscore clue. So we'll be posting a little bit more frequently regarding our future updates and episodes. And
we're trying to get more active on Twitter.
yes.
Not as active. But come
That's
say
a
what's
goal
up
we
to
have.
us. Yeah, we also have goals for the podcast too. So we can throw that in next episode if you guys are interested in it. But all of the links to our socials will be in
Down
the
below.
description down below. Definitely go check those out.
And subscribe to us as well.
Yes, along with hitting that subscribe button, giving us a like. It really shows us that you are enjoying what it is that we're putting out, the content we're putting out. If you have any suggestions, or we want to hear from you. What are some of your goals that you have?
Mm-hmm.
Whether that be just for the new year in 2020, or if you have any goals for the 5-year, 10-year, anything like that, leave them down in the description, in the comments below.
Yes.
And we
as
want to
well
hear
as
from you.
If you have any New Year's resolutions, make sure you buy a whiteboard and write them down on it. And don't erase it until you complete them.
Yes.
Don't let it be that cycle that you're getting into it and losing motivation throughout the year. And then at the next beginning of the year, you start again. Don't get into a bad cycle. Keep it up, everybody. You can do those goals.
Yes, and not even if you don't want to buy a whiteboard or anything, just have a list, write it down somewhere.
No, you have to buy a whiteboard.
Oh, okay. They have to.
Yeah, they have
All
to
right.
buy a whiteboard.
Well, you heard it here from Veda. You have to buy a whiteboard.
You have to. It's probably like about $30. I don't know. Go buy one of those cheap ones
I
from
don't
like
know.
Walmart.
You can probably find one at Five Below.
You might be able to find one in the trash can somewhere on someone's street.
That's true too.
So go check those trash cans, everybody. All right, well, thanks again for watching, and I guess we're going to see you guys on episode 3.
Peace out, guys.